What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about draft prospect Will Johnson. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about draft prospect Will Johnson. Will Johnson played his college ball at the University of Michigan. He goes about 6'2", 202 pounds, and he is one of those guys that I think the Falcons may draft in this upcoming 2025 NFL draft. This kid is really, really special. When I watched his highlights and things of that nature, he had 9 interceptions in his college career with the Michigan Wolverines. He did also win a national championship with those guys 2 seasons ago. But this guy's a ball hawk. When I look at his highlights, when I looked at some of his film and things of that nature, he's one of those in-your-face corners, can play bump and run coverage, can play zone coverage. And if the Falcons decide to stay at 15 in the first round, and if for some reason Will Johnson drops and falls to number 15, I really feel like the Falcons have to strongly consider drafting Will Johnson to put opposite of AJ Terrell. I really feel like if you were to add Will Johnson, he could help our pass rush because he's one of those guys where now with Jeff Ulbrich now as our defensive coordinator, you can be a lot more aggressive on the defensive side of the ball as far as blitzing and putting extra men in the box to stop the run, because now you have 2 lockdown corners in AJ Terrell and Will Johnson who can play man-to-man. You're not too worried about those guys getting burnt in coverage. You're not too worried about protecting your corners as far as keeping 2 deep safeties at all times, because we know that AJ Terrell and Will Johnson are capable guys that can match up one-on-one with the best in the league. Now, when I looked at Will Johnson's highlights and things of that nature, he's one of those guys that's a very physical corner. But what stood out to me is his elite ball skills. He's one of those guys that understands route concepts, and he jumps a lot of routes. So in the NFL, I could see him possibly getting a lot of interceptions, which we know AJ Terrell is one of those guys that plays with great technique, but he doesn't get a ton of interceptions. But Will Johnson is one of those guys that's going to take a lot of risk at that cornerback position. He's going to be a guy that's going to peek in the backfield and watch the eyes of the quarterback. And if he thinks that he's able to jump a route, he's one of those guys that's going to take his chances. But I've seen in college more often than not, when he did take his chances and those risks, just looking at his film and things of that nature, he guessed right and got interceptions where he was able to take it back to the house for touchdowns. So I really feel like it's imperative that the Falcons find a number 2 cornerback. I think last year Mike Hughes played really well. D. Alford played well at times, and Clark Phillips. Those guys played really well last year. But if we can upgrade that number 2 cornerback position, you guys know I've consistently said when you're drafting guys in the first round, you're looking for players that can play immediately. And Will Johnson is one of those guys that I think will be plug and play. And being that we have guys like Jerry Gray on this staff that is a former Pro Bowl corner. We have guys like Raheem Morris who specialize in secondary and defense and things of that nature. I really feel like Will Johnson would be able to hit the ground running. When I looked at his, looked at his film and things of that nature, he gives me vibes, or I would compare him to Pat Surtain the second that plays with the Denver Broncos because of his size, 6'2", 202. He is one of those guys that plays with great technique, similar to Pat Surtain, a guy who is a really good tackler in open space, and one of those guys that's a lockdown corner. So if we're able to lock it up and have AJ Terrell on one side, have Will Johnson on the other side, we could see similar to what the New York Jets did years ago under Rex Ryan, where they had Darrelle Revis, when they had a Cromartie on one side, where they were able to play a lot of man-to-man coverage, and they were able to send a lot of pressure and be able to take more risk on the defensive side of the ball because they had those 2 lockdown guys. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on Will Johnson. Like when I looked at his film and things of that nature, I was really, really impressed with his ability to make plays on the football. And I really feel like that's something that the Falcons have struggled with over the last couple years. We've had a lot of players that get a lot of PBUs, meaning pass breakups, with AJ Terrell, but we haven't had a ton of guys on this secondary that made interceptions. Outside of Jesse Bates, we haven't really had a lot of cornerbacks on this team that is able to take the ball away and, get interceptions. So I think that that's something that Will Johnson would bring to the table, is his ability to create turnovers and put our offense on short fields and give them more cracks at scoring points. So with that being said, this being your boy Jew, I have a lot more content coming for you guys. If you enjoy my content and you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button for your boy. I really appreciate you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.